about marketing plans and what it really takes to make an unprecedented amount of money on social media. And many of you guys, if you're in one of my programs, you already know it's a heavy lift. But the big question is it harder than anything else? And the answer to that is definitely not. If I had to do it all over again, I would be doing what I do now from the time I started. Because one thing we know in building your own business is it's not any more work than it is building somebody else's business. And not only that, you get the freedom, you get the flexibility, and of course, you get the revenue when it's all said and done. So it's important that you realize that everything you think is hard is nowhere near as hard as working for somebody else. So that's the first thing. And if you haven't stopped by Facebook to share the broadcast, thank you, Bridget, for sharing. I appreciate you. Make sure you stop by and share. So tonight, I'm going to offer you, and I'm going to be doing a deep dive into each one of these different things that I'm telling you. Hey, Takia, thanks for sharing. I'm going to be doing a deep dive during the Total Woman Summit. I'm going to have 4 nights where I talk to you about the 4 things that it really takes to get your money where it needs to be as a small business owner. And tonight, I want to get some of your biggest questions when it comes to marketing because I'm going to be answering them during the Total Woman Summit, bit.ly/Total Woman 21. Grab your ticket for only $20.21. I can promise you, I'm going to be taking these marketing nights and turning them into a boot camp that's going to cost way more than just $20.21. So if you want a sneak peek, make sure you grab your ticket and get yours now. So with that being said, when it comes to marketing, let me just break it all the way down from the beginning. What is marketing? You hear the word slung around so much that a lot of times you don't get a true concept of what it is. But I always explain it one way is that we are farmers and all of us have a product or service that we can grow. That's our creation, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's a class, a workshop, it doesn't matter. When you grow that product, in order for you to sell that product or service, you must take it to market. And that is where the word marketing comes from. Because there used to not be any such thing as money. Everything used to be the barter system. And in order for you to barter, you had to bring something to the market to take something home. If you brought eggs, maybe you take them to the market and you exchange the eggs for some bacon, or you exchange the eggs for some beef. You may go fishing and take the fish to market. So the same is true now. It's just that when it comes to marketing, you have to make sure that you're bringing whatever it is that you create to the market. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, go ahead and say yes so I can keep going. So why is marketing important? That's for the obvious reason. If you don't take what you created and put it on the market, then how are people going to buy it? Pretty simple, right? Now, the more often you go to market with your products and services, the more money you're going to make, right? Right. Now, there's some things that will get in the way of you going to market as often as you could, would, should. Because in concept, if you could market more often, you would, right? most people I talk to don't go as often as they should, would, could. And so let's talk about some things that get in the way of you going to market. And those are some of the things that I'm going to be helping you with during the Total Woman Summit. So make sure you grab your ticket for only $20.21 so you can leave there understanding why your marketing plan. Guys, I only have 12 shares, and I know there's way more than 12 people here. So if you could go out to Facebook and share this broadcast, that would be amazing. So what gets in the way of us sharing? Well, first of all, we talk about why marketing is important, but I think we spend more time, and y'all can tell me if I'm correct or incorrect. I think we spend more time thinking about, is our product okay? Worried about what people are going to think about our product. I think we spend more time doing things like that than we do actually marketing. Do you guys agree or disagree? When I see most entrepreneurs, many of them spend so much time behind the scenes trying to get their product perfect. Oh, I need to get this right, and I need to get this color correct, and I need to do this and I need to do that. And what ends up happening is you've spent all that time to get your product right. Now you put it out in the world and you're like, nobody's buying it. It must be horrible. And then you shut down. Has anybody ever had that happen? When the truth of the matter, and I'm going to tell you this not because I want you to create horrible products and services, but I tell you this because I want you to dedicate your time the right way when it comes to marketing. The truth of the matter is that even a horrible product, when marketed correctly, will sell. You got to understand, nobody knows whether your product is good, bad, or indifferent until they buy it. And most of the time, people can't tell whether a product is good, bad, or indifferent until they buy it. So your job in marketing is to convince them that this is a great product that they need. And in addition to creating a great product, that is your job as well. I think we miss the boat when it comes to understanding that we don't create products and services for us. We create products and services for other individuals. I'm not creating a product or service for myself. I'm creating a product or service to help you make more money, to help you be able to leave your job, to help you be able to be more profitable, for you to have more freedom. So I got to kind of get out of my own way when it comes to the product and do the best job that I can do to get in front of as many people as possible with my products or services. Do you guys agree that's correct? So that being said, let's talk about the 4 different things that I feel like keeps people from marketing to millions. The first being mindset, the second being a marketing plan, the third being the time to market, and the fourth being how money actually relates to the level of marketing that you're doing, okay? Let's start to talk about the mindset. I did a recent Fight for Your Money boot camp, and we talked about fear. And the mass majority of the people there were more concerned about what people thought than actually being afraid of the process. So what we uncovered is that you're not afraid of the people. You're not afraid of the process. You're afraid of the people. You're not even really afraid of the failure. You're afraid of what people are going to say when you fail or if you fail. So what do you really need to be concerned about when marketing? When marketing, you need to be concerned about who you're not helping when you don't put your product out there. If I create a cough syrup, or let's just say I create the cure for COVID, but I'm so afraid that somebody's going to talk about me, so I don't go out there and actually sell my cure. I could have been doing the world a service. Can you see me? I could have been doing the world a service, but instead I kept my cure to myself. And that should be an ouch for some of you. Because most of the time, we create products and services out of our own, solving our own problems. And I want you to think about how many people you're not helping when you don't go out there and go live with your products and services. When you don't go out there and share your products and services. How many people that you could have saved? How many people that could be living a better life? So the mindset you really need to be having when you're marketing is when I help other people, I help myself. And I'm going to be sharing some tools with you guys at the Total Woman Summit to really help you strengthen your mindset so that you can stop worrying so much about what other people say and instead worry about the people, hey Dolores, that you could be helping if you would just come out of your shell. Another thing we struggle with. I'm going to ask the question. And don't forget at the end, I'm going to be asking you guys for some of the things that you struggle with. So if you could you can go ahead and start to put some things in the chat. What do you find hardest when marketing? Because I want to make sure during this 4 days, I answer your problems and your questions during my 4 days on marketing. So whatever gives you the biggest trouble when marketing, go ahead and start to put that in the so that we can include that in the training that we do on the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. It's 15th or 19th, 15th, 17th. I got 5 days. I know what I'm gonna do on that 5th day. I'm gonna do social media. So I think that most of us don't plan for marketing. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. How much in advance do you plan for your marketing? A week, a month, a quarter, or a year? A week, a month, a quarter, or a year? If you can answer in the chat. Can y'all hear me okay? I don't see no answers. Hold on. 2 weeks. Juanice is right. A year should be standard. A year. To be honest, you should be planning for your marketing a minimum of a year in advance. So right now, I don't mean calendar year. Right now, you should be thinking about what are you going to be doing in April of 2022. It should be a rolling calendar year. And it's some tips I'm going to be giving you during the conference on how to make that easy. But I'm also going to show you a year's worth of marketing on a real marketing calendar so you can understand how your marketing has holes in it. And if you get, I'm going to give you a marketing template that if you just get these few things right, what you're going to be able to do is plan your marketing in a way that you also plan your money. How many of you would benefit from a template that shows you how to market your weekly, your monthly, your quarterly? So you can stop guessing as to when you put what out there. And I think that's what we do a lot because we don't have a pre-plan. We try to follow other people, but we don't understand other people's mindsets. So during this summit, bit.ly/TotalWoman21, I'm going to be giving you guys a glimpse at my marketing calendar and giving you guys a template so that you can understand how to line your marketing calendar up in a way that you don't have. Because see, when you're not marketing, you're not making money. And that's the one thing you need to realize is that when you're not marketing, you're not making money. And the only way for you to make money consistently is for you to be consistently marketing. And it makes a big difference so that you don't have gaps in your revenue. I compare it like this. Marketing as a CEO is your job. You have two primary jobs as taking care of your clients and getting new clients. When you're not marketing, you're not doing 50% of your job. What would happen if you went to your job and you stopped doing 50% of your work? Somebody tell me in the chat. What would happen? If you went to your job and tomorrow you just stopped doing 50% of your work, first of all, they're going to cut your check. If you only show up 50% of the time, you're only going to get 50% of your money. And that's right. Secondly, they're going to write you up or fire you. It's the same as being a CEO. Businesses don't close. CEOs get fired. When they talk about how many businesses close in their first few years, it's not because they closed. It's because you got fired as a CEO. Because you didn't do the things in your business that you do in a job. I have never, ever got fired from a job. Anybody else? I've never got fired from a job. I have never got fired from a job. I also can gladly say I've never gotten fired as a CEO. And some of you who make great workers, if you don't change your behavior as a CEO, you may get fired. And that just means your business doesn't make it. So let's talk about time management. Is social media overwhelming to anybody else? So the thing with social media, and in a minute, guys, I'm going to pull everybody over so we can have a real dialogue. The thing with social media is you have to choose what to do with the time you have. You don't have all day and all night to be on social media. Nobody does. And those of you who have a job, those of you who have businesses already, it can get even more difficult trying to find time to be on social media. So you have to choose what you have time to do. And once you choose it, you got to do those things like clockwork. You can't do 1 and 2 today, 3 and 4 tomorrow, 5 and 6 the next day. You have to choose like clockwork what you're going to be doing. And that's why a marketing plan is important too. Because if you know in advance what you're going to be doing, you can plan for it. If you don't know in advance, you can't make a plan. And if you can't make a plan, then you're going to continue to be all over the place and you're not going to be consistent and you're back to square one. Last but not least, at the Total Woman More Summit, I'm going to show you how to start with a small marketing budget and increase it little by little as you make more money. What is it most important that you spend money on now? And then how do you take that money and grow that money so that eventually you have the right amount of money to be marketing? And don't make any mistakes about it. We are entering into a pay-to-play society. And what that means is that in order for you to generate revenue, you're going to have to spend some revenue. Now, they've always said it takes money to make money, but now it's even more important that you spend money. And I don't think everybody gets that. Because social media is quote unquote free, I think people think that they can go out and continue to use a free platform to make money. But the truth of the matter is, you got to pay to play, which means you got to start somewhere with having a budget, and then you got to continue to grow that budget. So, what I want to do, Juanice, is bring everybody over so they can ask their questions. Because I'm trying to figure out what exactly do I need to be teaching during the Total Woman Summit. Because you know me, when I show up, I like to blow the walls off. And if you haven't gotten your ticket, because I know it's going to be all that and then some, make sure you go to bit.ly/totalwoman21. But I want you to be open and honest during this Q&A right now and really tell me what you struggle with. So we can nail down what to help you with. The floor is open. What questions do you have? Go ahead, Tyrell.
For me, I'm working on automating for my Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and so I mean it's I'm getting there, but it's just slow to me um, because I'm doing it at 2 weeks in advance just to plan out my content. But far as That's where I struggle with, just getting everything, all my content together so that I can do it for the whole month instead of just 2 weeks at a time, on top of doing everything else that I'm doing too.
So my hard question for you um is, have you mastered, because see, I think people confuse social media with just because I post I'm effective. And that's not the case. And every social media platform is different in terms of your voice, how people use it. And so my biggest question is, have you mastered one social media platform where you're getting engagement, you're getting clients before you go on to master all of the social media platforms?
No, I have not. No.
So my advice for you is, that Jack Trade and Master of None, that's a true story. There are people that post on every platform every day and make no money. So if I were you, I would decide where I want to spend my time, my energy, and instead of spreading myself thin, because one thing you're going to find very hard to automate, guys, is social media is about you being social. What does that mean? That means you got to be there to be social, right? That's like you trying to automate attending a party. Who can show up with you who can show up for you at a party? Nobody. You got to show up yourself. So with that being said, how do you show up automated on social media? So maybe you automate some other things, okay, and then show up yourself on social media.
Okay.
Does
Thank
that
you.
make sense?
Yes, ma'am. No, it does. Because like you said, Twitter is totally different. All of them are different. So I will take that, and that will be
All
the
different
homework.
voice, a different cadence, different expectations, a different language. And it takes time to understand how people want to be related to on those platforms. And when you don't know, you're doing it, you're showing up and you're doing the work, but it doesn't do you any good. Great question, Terrell. Who has another question about? Y'all all should have. Let me tell you something. If you're not making $500,000 a year on social media, you should have a question right now about your marketing. And that's another thing I find as business owners. It seems like we move, but stop and question why what we're doing is not effective, or don't ever stop and question what we should be doing different. So who has another question?
Coach, I have a question concerning content creation, but to be honest with you, I need to do my social media mojo that you gave us, but that's where I struggle with.
I think y'all struggle with looking at social media as a thing and not a place. Social media is not a thing. Social media is a place where you go with other people. Some of them may need what you have. You may have. But the truth of the matter is it's a networking spot. It's a club. It's a library. It's a cafeteria. It's a concert. It's all the things we already have in life. And if you would just show up on social media The same way you show up at a concert. If somebody posts a song, you go down through there and say, hey, that's my jam. That's my record. Like the old people say, ooh, that's my record right there. It's a carrier. If somebody posts a picture of some food, you say, oh my goodness, that looks delicious. It's a gym. If somebody's on there working out, you go in there and you say, girl, you don't work up a sweat. I think y'all simply over content creation. I think you simply make it too hard. And by the time you've overthought it, the moment has passed. And where you could have connected and with somebody, thank you, Diane, for sharing. You missed the opportunity. Do you go on there every morning and say good morning, good afternoon, how's your Sunday, happy Easter, who went to church today? It's a place. And that's why I told Tyrell, you can't automate it. Because can't nobody show up for you but you. I think you guys got it all twisted. Even when you share a broadcast, don't just share it. Share and tell the person why. Oh my God, this is the best explanation I've ever heard. You should stop in and listen. Oh my God, this is so inspirational. This is so motivational. If any of you are struggling today, this may be something you need to hear. Don't just share. Share for a reason. I don't know if that answered your question or not, Monique, but just something to think about.
Yes, Coach, it did. Thank you.
Questions? Yeah, I don't have any questions about marketing. And marketing is single-handedly the most important thing you will ever do in your business. And y'all don't have no questions?
So once we get the social media, well, for me, once I get the social media, one of the platforms, as I'm learning, what else can I do to keep put myself out there daily? I know you said to interact, good morning, how you doing? And come up with different questions for business owners. Well, what else can I do?
Do you go live?
No, I don't, but I will start. I'll start tomorrow.
Do you go live and have conversations with people? Do you go live and answer their questions? Do you go live and talk about who you are and why you got started? It's the most powerful tool available. They say that if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video is worth 1.2 million. So just going live and engaging people in the conversation, I think makes a huge difference.
Coach, I've been taking all your advice, especially like this last week, and I've seen incredible improvements on my own platform, and just the engagement is really up. So I know I've been listening, and things are clicking more and more every day, and I'm ready.
Girl, let me tell you, one of the things I'm going to be talking about during the Total Woman Summit is definitely having a budget and how to start with a small budget and build it. But I think people are not understanding that the day for free, quote unquote, social media is ending. And unfortunately, it's going to leave a lot of people behind. But I think the flip side of that is we've got to get a handle on this startup capital. That's business credit, that's grants, crowdfunding, angel investors, business incubators. It's got to be part of our day-to-day. I know I sent my clients a list of grants this morning from the membership on up, And 3 of those grants required a video. So my question is, who's getting out there and doing their videos so they can apply? If somebody says they're giving you $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, and all you have to do to be eligible for that money is to do a video, girl, please. But I've told you guys before, every time they put that criteria out there, the more difficult the criteria, the less people are going to apply, the easier it's going to be, and the more likely it's going to be for you to come out on top. So I think the flip side of, knowing that you have to go to a pay-to-play marketing plan, because everybody ain't blessed like Darius, okay? Everybody ain't just got rabid followers that are just, everybody's social media ain't just everything you post, you get 3 and 4 and 5,000 likes, Everybody ain't like Darius. So the rest of us, we got to have a marketing budget. And we got to know, and even with Darius, even though his following is strong and consistent, he's still got to have money for videographers. He's got to have money for photographers, money for graphics. He got to pay for the software to run his mailing list. There's nobody that gets away without investing in their marketing. And so you have to be mindful of that, and you have to be aware that if you're just now getting into the game and you didn't start to organically build your following in your community years ago, more than likely you're going to have to pay to get in. Some kind of how. Questions?
No questions, Coach, but I saw you do something that I implemented this over the last couple of days, and I actually got 2 new clients yesterday. I received a phone call from Hope, who was calling me to thank me for participating in the Fight for Your Money Bootcamp. And she wanted to know, or she was telling me that Coach Danya Winningham was offering me a free business assessment. And so already being a platinum mentee, I told her no, that I didn't need a business assessment, but I thanked her for calling me. So when I was thinking about my hop into government contracts initiative that's going on, I said, hey, I could do that. So I went live inside the group to let them know that they have I thanked them for registering to be a part of the hop in the government contracts. I thank them for being in the Facebook group, and I offered them a free business assessment. And then I started requesting the people that was inside the group and pinging them as they were accepting my friend request, pinging them with a little snapshot of the graphic, letting them know in the inbox that they are eligible for a free business assessment. And they started blowing up my phone with scheduling the business assessment to see.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was able to, I won't say sell, because basically they needed what I was offering, but 2 people joined my 10-week course yesterday.
Come on, Monique. Now listen, 2 things. She did what her coach does. And I tell y'all all the time, follow the leader. Follow the leader. Marketing is more than just social media. You've got to connect to people offline. Some of them people, Monique, had you not called them, they would have never came on board. But because you picked up the phone, had a conversation with them, let them know, right, how this course would benefit them, they came on board. Some people, guys, no matter how much you talk about why they need something, until you get on the phone and tell them why they need it for themselves, they'll never get it. So social media is more than just being social on media. I'm having a profit planner retreat in Vegas in July. I'm having conference in Houston in November. And I'm going to be inviting my clients to come reconnect after COVID. Some of y'all have never met each other because a lot of y'all would have met each other by now because we would have had a conference. We would have had a retreat last July. So I feel like we're late. You got to give your community a place to connect. But you got to connect to people more than just on social media. It's got to be more than just business. Julie, did you have a question? Okay. Questions, comments? If I could teach one thing during the Total Woman Summit that would change your life, and this is a question for everybody, so I'm going to get y'all to go around and answer it. If I could teach one thing that would change your life, what would it be?
Well, mine would be being more engaged than what I am. But you said something earlier about when you send to share to tell them why you're sharing, and I never thought about that really. But that that really helps me.
Well, one thing you got to realize is that social media is telling a story. And so if you call Monique, you're not going to just hold the phone, right? If you call Monique, you're going to talk to her. So if you share something on social media, you're not going to just share it and just hold the phone. You're going to tell them why you're sharing it. Y'all don't have any, y'all not having me picking the right content. What else?
You just said it a few minutes ago. Follow the leader. Don't overcomplicate it.
In the community. All of these things have the same answer. Building a community is about engaging with like-minded people. Nurture series is just a follow-up of that engagement. Content creation is just having a conversation. And picking the right content for your industry, only 20% is going to be industry related. Everything else is going to be just a conversation. So I think the more, like I said, you look at social media as a place and not a thing, but a place where you show up, make genuine connections, and learn, I think the easier it's going to be for each one of you guys to build a loyal social media following. So thank you guys. I'm going to be working on my content. I'm getting ready to go to my next meeting. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you at the Total Woman Summit, bit.ly/Total Woman.